1000万 MLB 翻訳侍戦士チャンネルへようこそ。アリゾナでの初戦、山本由伸投手は1回3分の2を27球で投げ抜け、2奪三振と見事な投球を披露。さらに元 NLCS の MVP ロサリオ選手は本塁打を放つなど見どころ満載の試合でした。その一方、投手復帰に向けて調整を続ける大谷翔平選手の最新情報も含め、このチャンネルでは日本人選手たちの活躍を現地の番組の映像とともにお届けいたします。お見逃しのないようぜひチャンネル登録をお願いいたします。
Inside our Sportsnet LA studios, joined today by the real Jay Hare, Jerry Hairston Jr. We saw 55 players get into the first Cactus League game of the spring today, Jerry. And I know it's not the World Series, but after a long offseason, a couple of weeks of spring training and doing baseball activities, I imagine there's some butterflies that first game.
Well, guess what, John? We're not going to go undefeated in Cactus League play, so that is disappointing. But the most important thing is guys got their work in. First game is under the belt.
Well, and it's been 113 days since the Dodgers celebrated a World Series championship at Yankee Stadium. They were back on the field today at Camelback Ranch in Arizona, beginning their title defense, even if it is just Arizona spring baseball, Jerry. But what were your initial takeaways from the first game of Cactus League play?
I tell you what, even though Yamamoto got in some trouble a little bit, I love that he had that good fastball command. The split was working as well. And Rosario, talk about a guy trying to make an impression, a former NLCS MVP, first at-bat bomb. So for him, very important. You're always looking for guys that can help you off the bench. Rosario trying to make sure he kind of opens some eyes this spring. Mookie Betts getting a chance there at shortstop, really coming into his own as that everyday shortstop. But the most important thing is making sure guys get their reps in. I know, listen, the wins and losses, we all know they don't mean anything. It's about getting your reps in.
Well, and we know that Yoshi's going to start game one of the regular season. He also got a chance to start game one of Cactus League play, and afterwards he talked about it with Kirsten Watson.
Hey, Yoshi, just to have your first Cactus League start, seems like velocity, things were in a really good spot. How did you feel in this one?
今日カクタスリーグオープン戦1戦目でしたけどどうでしたか？
しっかり、自分の投球ができたと思いますし、ヒットは打たれながらになりましたけど、今日無事登板ができたということはすごく良かったと思います。
Although I allowed a couple hits, but I believe because I could do what I wanted to do, and then that was great. I finished on my first game complete.
What are you looking to do for the kind of next steps as you continue to build up and get ready for that opening day in Tokyo?
東京に向けて次の登板、オープン戦の登板って何かこういうの試したいとかありますか？
少しずつ、イニングも増えていくと思いますし、今日は、狙ったところに決められなかった、ボールも何球かあったので、そういったところをしっかり調整して、公式戦に向けて、少しずつステップアップしていけたらなと思います。
I think I throw a couple more innings as I go deeper into the Cactus League. Spring training game, and then I'd like to try a couple different things, get myself ready towards Tokyo games in Tokyo.
You were talking a lot with Blake Snell after your outing. Just can you give us a little insight into that conversation and how valuable it's been now having him as a teammate and someone to talk to?
今日、マウンド降りた後にブレックスネル投手とちょっといろいろ話されてたみたいでしたけど、今日何を話してたのかっていうのと、彼みたいなピッチャーが同じチームにいるっていうことはどういう感じですか？
はい、今日は、細かい技術の話を、してたんですけど、スネルとは最近、朝ごはんを結構毎日一緒に食べたりして、野球の話だったり、いろんな話を、してもらって、そういった素晴らしい選手と一緒にできるのはすごく、嬉しいことだなと思います。
So after I came out of the game, we were talking about some like a little bit details about the mechanical thing, and then having a pitcher like him is great for me. And then recently, because we have a breakfast together every morning, and then he's awesome.
Obviously, Jerry, it's very early in the spring, but Yoshinobu Yamamoto, he goes an inning and 2/3. He throws 27 pitches, couple of strikeouts. What did you think of his first one out there today?
I thought it was extremely solid. Believe it or not, pitchers, I remember talking to Josh Beckett, I know Kershaw at times, they want to be able to pitch from the stretch, want to be able to pitch with runners on base so they can really kind of lock in and really start to use their secondary pitches. That's the most important thing. The secondary pitches It seemed like it was sharp. Here, this is a breaking ball, but this is not hit too hard. Credit the hitter with a base hit, but all in all, when he got into some trouble, the stuff was there, and that's the most important thing. One more time, it's his first start Cactus League play. It's all about making sure he continues to find his rhythm with his delivery, make sure he's got command of all his pitches, and he's ready to go that very first night in Japan. Even though he's his second year in the big leagues, he's a veteran pitcher. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's pitched well for a long time. So first outing, I would give it a B+.
But they're all very important outings because he will only have 3 more starts before he gets the ball in Japan. One of the storylines this spring is who's going to hold down the 5th spot in the Dodgers rotation to start the year. Bobby Miller is one of the candidates, but he's coming off a really rough season, Jerry. He arrived in camp. You had a chance to talk to him. Very eager to show that he's putting 2024 behind him, but today it lasted just 2 batters, and it was a scary scene, taking a line drive off the head.
Extremely scary scene. Hopefully Bobby Miller is okay. 106 off the bat of Michael Busch. He walks the first hitter. Hitter steals the base, and here, breaking ball, squared up, and Michael Busch hits a rocket, like I mentioned, 106 miles an hour. And here's the thing. Anytime you see a pitcher get hit, you're hoping if he does get hit, it's a glancing blow. This is squared up.
Yeah.
And I know Bobby really well. He is as tough as it gets. One more look at it. It squares him up. Thankfully, he was able to walk off the field and walk back into the clubhouse under his own power. Once again, he is a tough kid. We're hoping that he's going to be okay. I'm sure they're going to go through some precautionary measures, concussion protocol. I know they'll do that. Most important thing is his health. Hopefully be okay.
Yeah, you could tell that Michael Busch was also concerned immediately off the bat. He could tell that it hit Bobby Miller right in the head, and those guys were former teammates in the Dodgers minor league system. Right now, let's head back to Arizona and hear from the skipper, Dave Roberts, with Kirsten Watson. They lose, though, 12-4 the final. Yamamoto got those 5 outs, gave up 3 singles, but no runs, struck out 2. And that 2021 NLCS MVP Eddie Rosario homered his first at-bat. Bobby Miller had to leave the game after facing just 2 batters, hitting the head. Max Muncy, 1 for 2. And David Bodie cut loose by the Cubs last November. He went 2 for 2 against his former team. Meantime, Shohei Ohtani still isn't quite ready for game action this spring, but he's getting closer. And this morning, Shohei gave us an update to Kirsten and the media.
Shohei, you've been able to take part in now 2 bullpens these last few days. Just how did those go for you, and how much of a step forward was that for you?
前回もそうですね、引き続きいい強度では投げれたので、次回のブルペンでもう少しもうワンステップ強度上げれたらいいんじゃないかなと思ってます。
I was able to throw with pretty good intensity my last 2 bullpen sessions, so I want to be able to step it up a little bit more with the intensity for my next bullpen session.
It looked like in between pitches you were going back, looking at whether it was footage, whether it was just getting some feedback. What are you looking for during your bullpens that are showing you that you are progressing in the right direction?
いろいろデータ映像を見てましたけども、何か特別に見ていることとかありますか？
ボールとのフィーリングというか、自分が投げてる感覚となんていうんですかね、フィードバックをもらった時のデータの一致がどういうふうに一致してるかっていうのが大事かなと思うので、今のところはいい感じで来てますし、さっき言いましたけどワンステップ上げた時にまたデータがどういうふうにブレるのかなっていうのをチェックしていきたいなと思ってます。
It's really matching the feel and the real aspect of it, just being able to confirm, see if there's any differences. So now, once I increase the intensity, I want to be able to see if there's any major differences in the real and feel.
Your both bullpen sessions, you're thrown out of the full windup, and when you pitched for the Angels, it was always the stretch. Is that something you're going to carry into the games, and why the change?
ワインドアップで結構投げてるのと、何辺も違いましたけど。
特になんかこうなんでしょうね、常にそうですけど変化を求めていきたいなとは思ってるので、その中でここメジャーに来てからはワインドアップでずっと投げてますけど、ワインドアップじゃないセットで投げてますけど、自分の中で、常に変化、バッティングもそうですよね、変化を求めたいなとは思ってるので、その中の一つかなとは思います。
Yeah, traditionally I've been throwing from the stretch a lot, but as part of being a baseball player, I do want to explore just different options, different avenues to see if I could grow as a player. I do that on the pitching side as well as a hitter.
Will you do that in games?
今のところはその予定では考えてますけど、また、さっき言いましたけど、また何ていうんですか、強度が上がった時にどういう反応が来るのかによって、決めたいなとは思ってます。
That's my plan. But again, with increasing the intensity, I do want to see how the body respond, how I respond to it. So yes, as of now, that's the plan.
So Dave Roberts did reveal the top 4 guys he's going to go with in the batting order, and it's not a surprise. You have Shohei leading it off, led the league in on-base percentage, slugging, OPS, homers, RBIs, run scored. Pretty much you get the idea there. But he's going to be followed by Mookie Betts again, the World Series MVP Freddie Freeman. And then Teoscar Hernandez hit that career-high 33 bombs, won the home run derby, and was an all-star for the second time in his career. And when Shohei moved to that leadoff spot after Mookie was injured on June 17th, the season really took off as a Dodger. Hit .310 from that leadoff spot, 35 home runs, 54 RBIs, 84 RBIs, Jerry, I should say, the rest of the way. It seems like the right thing to do, though, to have Shohei first, then Mookie, Freddie, Teo, the way we saw it last year for most of the season against lefties.
If it ain't broke, why fix it, right? I mean, obviously, when you have the big show, and I love the fact that he's that leadoff hitter because it allows him, and he makes him more aggressive on fastballs. Behind him is Mookie Betts. We know what he can do. Fab Five Freddie, I think, is the perfect 3-hole hitter, and then Teoscar Hernandez, who's a tremendous run producer, hit lefties as well as righties. These first 4 did tremendous damage, especially in the second half of the season, and they will continue to do so. So I love this lineup. Listen, Dave Roberts understands, you know what? We won a World Series this way. There's no need to change it. Big Show, Mookie, Freddie, Teo.
Oh, and then you've got Muncy, and then you've got Tommy Edman, and you've got Will Smith. You got a lot of guys. Pretty long, good lineup.
If there's one guy who has an argument hitting the 4-hole, it's Tommy Edman, because we know what Tommy Edman did in the 4-hole.
Especially against lefties.
Yes, so he'll see the 4-hole against lefties.
All right, Cactus League play, it is off and running. There will be a baseball game on our network 17 of the next 18 days. Tomorrow, the Dodgers and Cubs once again, this time in Mesa. We will have highlights and reaction on Access Sportsnet Dodgers for every weekday game all spring long. We will see you tomorrow at noon. The first home run of the spring, it comes from a guy who wasn't even on a team 6 days ago. Eddie Rosario's 2-run shot was the lone highlight for the Dodgers offense. More ahead on the game from Arizona. Plus, there were some nervous moments during free agency, but Teoscar finally got a deal done to stay with the Dodgers, and he's sitting down with Kirsten for our spring conversation coming up. Carl's junior moment of the game. It's just good to say that again, Jerry. It's Eddie Rosario. 2-run shot.
Gets a little bit of a gift here. Hanging breaking ball. 0-2, squares it up, drives it out of the ballpark, head down on contact, barrel release. Good swing there from Eddie. Good chance to make a huge impression early.
Because Eddie Rosario was the 2021 NLCS MVP against the Dodgers when he was with the Braves. He had a 32-homer season, 109 RBIs with the Twins in 2019, Jerry, but the last couple years have been really rough for him. So how does a guy like him, a veteran in camp on a minor league invite, approach spring training?
Well, you got to be ready. It's not about getting ready for a season. Your season really starts now, and he came into camp obviously ready to hit. Gets a breaking ball there, does not miss it. He knows if he has a great spring, there could be a possibility he could be that guy off the bench as that left-handed hitter, always looking to impress. But here's another thing, too. If you're a veteran like Eddie Rosario, it's not just about the Dodgers. You got to go out there and make an impression because you never know. If you have a great spring, you could break with the Dodgers or another team can come calling for you as well. So it's very important for him.
And he's not old, only like 31, 32 years of age. So he still should have some mileage left on those tires. Let's head back to Arizona and hear from Max Muncy with Kirsten.
How did it feel just to kind of get out there playing Cactus League game, but just a game in general?
Yeah, it's always good to be back. You know, the first game is always, you don't know what you're going to get out there. You put the work in the off season, the short off season this year, and you never know really where you're going to be at until you get out there and start seeing game action. And it was fun. It was good to be back out on the field for sure. And yeah, just a lot of fun.
You talked a lot about just the work that you, Mookie, really just the infield has been putting in, being at camp early. How did it just comfortability? How did it feel just kind of being out there? Obviously, only 4 innings, but still, just kind of be out there playing defense alongside each other.
It was good. Communication was good, and that was something that we put a lot of work in. Just how we're going to communicate, how we're going to talk to each other out there, positioning wise, what we're going to do, how we're going to, attack certain things. And it went pretty seamless. It was good. We still got to iron a couple things out, but, like I was saying, you can't really replicate game action unless you're in the game. So that's something that we just got to get, more innings under our belt to be able to, figure out exactly what we want to do. But it went really well.
You're obviously not a doctor, but you rushed in to check on Bobby there after he got hit in the head. How's he doing? And were you able to talk to him at all?
Yeah, he seems like he's doing good. He was. They asked him where he was at, and he was a little pissed about the curveball coming back at him. So he made a comment about that, and everyone's kind of like, all right, he's fine. He knows where he's at. Obviously, he's got. You have to be careful when you get hit in the head, especially when a ball comes back at you that hard. So they're obviously taking their time, but from what I could tell, he seemed like he was fine. Well. Yeah, he threw it. I was pretty positive it was a strike, and then the umpire balled it. It's also the first game for the umpires as well, so they're still hunting in their zones. But it was a pitch that I definitely thought was a strike. He balled it, and I look out, and the pitcher seemed very excited to challenge that one. And when he challenged it, I knew it was going to get overturned. And I went, oh man, I'm gonna be the first one on this. That's great.
Did you watch it on the scoreboard? The video?
Yeah, I mean you have to. You got to know if they're going to call the ball or strike or not. So it's it also kind of helps you when you see that. You can kind of know where that ball was in your mind, where the zone's at, so you can kind of tell if there's more to go or not. And so hopefully it doesn't happen too much, but it's interesting for sure.
今日のオープン戦での山本投手の投球は見応えがありましたね。1回3分の2後27球で投げ抜け、2奪三振と素晴らしい内容でした。大谷選手はロバーツ監督からトップバッターに指名されるなど、期待は高まるばかりです。今後のカクタスリーグ、特に大谷選手の活躍がとても楽しみですね。皆様も引き続き、熱い戦いにご注目ください。では、次回の動画でお会いしましょう。ご視聴ありがとうございました。